Hey everyone, it's Lizzie and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to show you guys how to create a monthly budget utilizing the cashless method. So if you guys are interested at all to see how I incorporate a cashless method to go along with our budget, then keep on watching. So the very first thing that we do before the month begins is we figure out what our goals are. And that is so important when you want to create a successful budget because everyone's goal is different. So you may have a goal to become debt-free, or you're wanting to beef up your emergency fund, save for a vacation or a big purchase. Everyone's goal is different. That is the beauty of a budget, is because you can make it personal to you. To whatever situation or whatever season in life you're in, you make it personal. So that's what you should do, and have a discussion with your spouse, with your family, and just make it a priority to figure out a plan to reach that goal. So before the month begins, that is what we do. So how is it that we break down our budget? We break it down into 3 different categories. The first one being the bulk, which is the expenses. Now, expenses is for your day-to-day bills, those fixed expenses. It covers your utilities, your housing, transportation, any spending that takes place, and we base it on percentages. So the first bulk of that, we're living off of 70% of what our take-home pay is, what our income is. Now yours, if you have debt, yours may be 80% because a portion of your income is going to those debt payments. So it all depends on whatever season in life you're in. But at this point in time, our expenses is 70% of what our take-home pay is that we're allocating for anything that leaves our bank account. Now, the second category that we budget for in the percentage formula is our goal. Our goal right now is to save for a house. We want to have a good down payment for our house, and we're going to be doing a few unique things in the upcoming months to reach our goal. So I'm really excited and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. So 20% of our income is going to our goal. Now, your goal, it may be to become debt-free, to have sinking funds for different expenses, and that is where you can allocate that. Now, if you're using the 80% for expenses, then definitely try to maybe do 10% or 20%. It all depends on where you are and what your preference is, but 20% is what we are allocating for our goal. Now, the last category is probably the most important to us, and that is our tithe. We do give back to our church, and we give 10% of that because that is what we believe to do, and we just get so much more blessing in return. So those are the 3 categories that we break down our budget for, our monthly budget, and also for our paycheck budget. We utilize the same percentage formula. Now let's dive in to breaking down the budget. So for the income, this is just an estimate of what your income is. Always try to budget out for the worst case scenario. If you don't know, my husband, he does work for himself, and so we have a variable income. So this is just a low ball because it could vary based on the jobs that he does. The income that we are estimating that we're going to receive for the month of April is $54.80. And now this other amount of the $180, that's actually income that we receive from my parents who are on our phone plan, and they just pay us to cover for their portion of the phone bill. So that's technically not our income, but we do break it down into expenses and our goal. But the tithe is based on our pay. So if we look at the expenses, how you figure out the amount for this formula is you take your income and you multiply it by the percentage that you are saying that you want to live off of, right? For example, for us, we said that 70% is what we want our expenses to be, like 70% of our income will be allocated to expenses. And that comes to $38.36. And that's taking the income, multiplying it by 0.70, and that gives us the total amount. The goal is 20%. That amount is $1,096. And then our tithe, being 10% of our pay, which is these 2 lines right here, comes to $530. So utilizing this, it's kind of a key where you just reference back to it as you are working through your budget. So now that we have that written in, we know what our tithe amount that we said that we wanted to budget out for is $530. We bring that down here under the giving line, and then you take the income and subtract the giving, it gives you a dollar amount. Now is the portion where you focus on your expenses and you just write everything in. It gives you a total, and my total for the expenses is $29,60,101. And if we reference back to our key, which is up here, we said that $38.36 is what we wanted to allocate for our expenses utilizing the formula. So if we take the $38.36 and we subtract what we already wrote in, that these are the main bills that we're going to cover for this month, subtract the $29.6101, that leaves us still $874.99 to budget out for those variable expenses. Now this is where you really can get very focused and realize what your values are and where you want to maybe cut back on a few things. Now, one of them that we did horribly in the month of March was in eating out. So every paycheck, yes, I allocated specific funds for eating out. So paycheck to paycheck, we technically didn't go over, but for the budgeted monthly estimate that I wrote in, we went over badly. And for the month of April, we want to do better and challenge ourselves to treat ourselves maybe a couple times in the month and not every week. So we're really going to be focused on meal planning this month and creating like meals that are fun and very tasty. We're gonna see how that goes, and if you guys want to see like cook along with me or budget meal plans or whatnot, then definitely let me know in the comments so that way I can film that for you. But for the month of April, our goal is to have $100 allocated for eating out. Now again, all of this is just an estimate. This is our goal. Like, I really don't want to eat out hardly any for the month of April and really focus on saving for our home. So I'm really excited about that. So now we have our groceries. So groceries, we typically spend like around $100 or so, and that includes like our pet food, our household items, grocery, things like that. And we've been okay with this. So I'm going to be very focused on this since I'm now in charge again of buying the groceries since I work from home. And then our allowance, we just put an amount of $375 because again, we want to lessen our spending. Then we want to be realistic as well because obviously we will be spending money in the month of April. So we have to kind of give ourselves grace. Yeah, that is what our focus on. So we said that $874 was what was remaining, and we did budget out $875. It's close enough, so I think that we're good. So now we still have a remaining amount of $1113 to budget out for that goal amount. And then we said the goal amount was to budget out $1096, and that's for our like savings and sinking funds goals. So we do have some sinking funds that we budget out for, and we're still going to be saving for. That's our anniversary, car maintenance, Christmas gifts, health, which is like any vitamins or medication, things like that we have to spend on. And we do still have our health savings account with funds in it. So if we have to go to the doctor or buy medicine for any reason, then we can use that account. But right now we just want to slowly build up a separate savings account for when that account runs out, since we no longer have health insurance. We have MediShare right now, and I'll leave a link in my description box for MediShare in case you're just curious of what that's all about. Pet, so this is for like if we have to take our dogs to the vet or get them groomed. And then vacation sinking funds. So the total amount that is going to sinking funds is $316. And now here is where we're going to make some adjustments. We still have $782 to reach our savings goal. So if we were to be really gazelle intense, we could just reach our emergency fund goal. But right now we kind of want to split it up into the two, and we'll end up reaching this most likely next month, our emergency fund goal, and contribute the rest to the home. But for right now, this is what we're looking at. And this leaves us with a remaining balance of $0 because we want to give every single one of our dollars a job. Now, how we incorporate the cashless method is we utilize this simple budget app to track and manage our online sinking funds. So we have moved my husband's retirement funds that we had taken from a couple of our paychecks, and we added it to our emergency fund. And then these are all of our online sinking funds. And it tells us what our balance is. It tells us when we add and take out funds, we can track it there, which is really, really nice. And now let me show you our actual cash envelopes and how we track our spending day to day. As I mentioned, you want to create your budget and your plan and your goal before the month begins. And now you include and you incorporate cash envelopes. However, we are not cash envelope users anymore, well, or cash spenders, I might add, because we still use the cash envelopes, but in a different way. So I have these cash envelopes, and these are from Conscious Wallet. The wallet itself is from Lux Wallet. How I use our cash envelopes, cashless, is we have a tracker where we still, like you would do the cash envelope method, you still use a tracker to be able to track where you are. So right now for our food budget, we have $75 that we had in there. And what I like to do is when I swipe my debit card, so we have a specific checking account that is kind of our operating account where all of the bills come out of, and any gas and also our food and eating out comes out of that main checking account. And what I do is I keep the receipts in the envelope, and then at the end of the day or the end of the week, I'll just track my spending and just mark off in here when I did swipe my debit card. That way I know that we're still good. So I have all of the categories that we will be using for this month from the paycheck or from the monthly budget. I have my food envelope, I have my eating out, I have my allowance, which is right here, and then we have our gas one, and this one is in case we have to go to the doctor or an emergency were to take place. I have this envelope in here so we can put our receipts in there as well, and use the tracker to go along with that, because that is super important to be on track with your expenses. Another thing that I do, being a cashless envelope budgeter, I have the EveryDollar app here, and this allows me to be able to track our spending. And I've talked about the EveryDollar budgeting app quite a bit actually on my channel, so definitely check older videos in case you don't know how to use this app. I definitely go in depth with that, but this allows you to be able to enter in your transactions when you've spent funds. You can sync it to your bank account if you choose to do so, or you could just do it manually. But I really enjoy utilizing this app along with the simple budget envelope app, because it just keeps me in check and keeps me in line and organized with our finances, so that we know that we won't be overspending, and we just don't want that. But that is what our budget looks like for the month of April. I will keep you guys updated with any changes and where we are with our goal. I'm so excited for what is to come, and yeah, I just can't wait. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, then definitely hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel, join my newsletter. Every month I send out freebies, so definitely check the link in the description down below, and I will see you guys right here in a brand new video. Bye guys!